seconds flight elapsed time, the PS1 will separate and the PS2 is ignited 200 milliseconds later. Crossing the dense atmosphere marks two flight events, the jettisoning of the heat shield and the initiation of closed-loop guidance. The total burn time of PS2 is 150 seconds and it is then separated from the ongoing launch vehicle. Then the third stage, called the 𝗳𝗙 stage, is ignited. Following a 126 seconds burn time, the PS3 is burnt out but continues to coast along with the ongoing launch vehicle. The stage separates another 200 seconds later. The PS4 or the fourth stage is ignited 300 seconds later from the separation of PS3. The burn time of PS4 is 133 seconds. During the burn regime of PSLV's fourth stage, the orbital parameters for the injection of the prime satellite 𝗬𝗎 are achieved. Thereafter, the dual launch adapter will be separated, followed by the injection of co-passenger satellites 𝗬𝗎 and 𝗬𝗏 into the orbit. PS4 thereafter will continue to stay in orbit as a stabilized platform for experiments. We are 4.5 minutes away from the launch time. The countdown progressing smoothly. On your screens now, Chairman ISRO and Secretary DOS, Shri S. Somnath.
-4 minutes.
इसरो में विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी क्षेत्र में हमेशा कुछ न कुछ नवीन होता रहता है। इसरो इसमें सदैव तत्पर रहते हैं और नए नए अनुसंधान तथा परीक्षण करते रहते हैं। वैसा एक नवीन उपाय उद्देश्य पूर्ण किए हुए PS4 चतुर्थ चरण PSLV के उनको पुनः त्रिअक्षीय स्थिर माइक्रोग्रेविटी के प्रयोग में लाया जाएगा। इन प्रयोगों का उद्देश्य छोटे वैज्ञानिक निर्धारों को 4 से 6 महीनों के लिए कक्षीय प्रयोगों को पूरा करना होता है। PS4 प्लेटफॉर्म में इसकी विशेषता इस संदर्भ में यह है कि इस चरण में मानक इंटरफेस, पावर उत्पादन, टेलीमेट्री, टेलीकमांड, स्थिरता, अक्ष में सुनियोजित परिचालन तथा रखरखाव की पूरी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध होती हैं। इस बार PSLV-C53 में प्रमोचन यान में भी यह चतुर्थ चरण में उपयोग किया जाएगा। इन कक्षीय प्रयोगों में पहली बार किया जा रहा है। जब PS4 स्टेज एक स्थिरीकृत प्लेटफॉर्म के रूप में पृथ्वी की परिक्रमा करेगा, तब यह प्रयोग किया जाएगा। एक समर्पित NGC तंत्र, जिसे नेविगेशन गाइडेंस एंड कंट्रोल कहा जाता है, इसके उपयोग से अभिवृत्ति स्थिरीकरण प्राप्त किया जाएगा। इसे PSLV ऑर्बिटल एक्सपेरिमेंटल मॉड्यूल कहा जाता है, शॉर्ट में POEM पोएम। इस बार PSLV-C53 में 6 निर्धारों का वहन करेगा, जिसमें 2 भारतीय अंतरिक्ष स्टार्टअप मेजर्स दिगंतरा तथा मेजर्स ध्रुव एरोस्पेस के हैं और इन्हें इनस्पेस और NSIL के माध्यम से शामिल किया गया है। अब हम प्रमोचन से 1 मिनट 30 सेकंड की दूरी पर सभी गतिविधियां सामान्य रूप से जारी हैं। दर्शकों के लिए बहुत ही रोमांच का पल होता है। न सिर्फ दर्शकों के लिए, यहाँ उपस्थित वैज्ञानिक जिन्होंने दिन रात एक कर प्रमोचन यान तैयार किया है तथा उपग्रह तैयार किए हैं, उनके लिए भी यह बहुत ही रोमांच का समय होता है।
-1 मिनट। minus 55 seconds,
all sub-sum,
minus 50 seconds,
all sequence sum,
minus 45 seconds, minus 40 seconds,
PHPP open,
minus 35 seconds, minus 30 seconds,
Real-time programs activated.
minus 25 seconds,
PSPP open,
minus 20 seconds, minus 15 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, plus 5 seconds,
Stop normal.
P1 tracking,
P3 tracking, P2 tracking,
PSLV-C53
Stage performance
DSEO
normal.
मिशन सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन अभी हमने देखा। गर्जना करता हुआ PSLV-C53 आकाश में आप देख सकते हैं कितना साफ नज़ारा है, बहुत ही रोमांच भरा नज़ारा।
That's a marvelous liftoff, and the PS1 performance is according to the expectations for this mission.
First stage performance normal.
प्रथम चरण का निष्पादन सामान्य।
SHAR 1 is in main auto,
plus
SHAR
1
2 is
minute,
in main auto,
अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ PSLV-C53
Thrust developed during the firing of first stage is 4,800 kilonewtons.
R2 tracking SCBT1.
यह चरण प्रथम चरण है जो
First
कि
stage performance normal.
108.2 सेकंड तक चलेगा। इस दौरान इस चरण में 4,846 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है और वह प्रमोचन यान को 50 किलोमीटर की दूरी प्रदान करता है।
It is 1 minute 45 seconds from launch, and the altitude attained is 49 kilometers. At 51
First stage
kilometers,
separated. Second stage engine started. Closed loop guidance initiated.
plus 2 minutes,
प्रथम चरण पृथक कर दिया गया है यान से तथा द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
Second
You
stage
can-
performance normal.
you can see the flight events on your TV screens. The recent one has been the initiation of closed loop guidance, and PS2 currently operating.
जी
It is-
हाँ,
It is
द्वितीय
2.5 minutes from the launch.
द्वितीय चरण 150 सेकंड का होगा।
Second
इस
stage
दौरान
performance
यह 800
normal.
किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर यान को 174 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्रदान करेगा। इस चरण के दौरान दो मुख्य घटनाएं हो रही हैं।
Payload fairing separated.
अभी अभी आपने देखा ऊष्मा कवच पृथक हो चुका है यान से तथा यान क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत है। अब इसका अर्थ है अब जायरोस्कोप और एक्सेलरोमीटर की मदद से अपनी दिशा निर्धारण कर रहा है। घने वातावरण से बाहर जाने की वजह से
Second stage
अब
performance
ऊष्मा कवच की
normal.
जरूरत नहीं है, इसलिए उसे पृथक कर दिया गया है।
SHAR and Port Blair stations currently tracking the launch vehicle trajectory. The second stage of PSLV increases the velocity of ongoing launch vehicle from
Second
1.4
stage
kilometers per
performance
second
normal.
to 4 kilometers per second.
plus 4 minutes,
द्वितीय चरण का प्रदर्शन सामान्य। अब कुछ ही सेकंड्स में यह बंद हो पृथक किया जाएगा यान से। उसके तुरंत बाद ही तृतीय चरण का
Second
प्रज्वलन
stage
शुरू होगा।
separated, third stage ignited.
The second stage has been separated and the third stage called the PS3 has begun
Third
its
stage
operation.
performance normal.
It is a solid propellant based motor. It increases the relative velocity from 4 to 7.2 kilometers per second for the mission requirements. Thrust developed is 240 kilonewtons.
PS3 का प्रज्वलन काल 125
That's 5
सेकंड का
minutes.
होगा। इस दौरान यह 335 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करेगा।
Third stage performance normal.
तृतीय चरण का निष्पादन पूरी तरह सामान्य। तृतीय चरण के अंत तक यान की गति 7.259 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड होगी।
Third stage performance normal.
The total burn time for HPS-3 is 132 seconds.
Plus 6 minutes.
In this duration, it will add 60 kilometers to the altitude.
अब कुछ ही क्षणों में PS3
Third stage
बर्नआउट हो
action
जाएगा।
completed.
जी हाँ, प्रज्वलन समाप्त हो चुका है HPS3 का।
Vehicle in combined hosting phase.
अब यह कंबाइंड कोस्टिंग फेज पर है, जिसे हम PS3 PS4 कोस्टिंग फेज कहते हैं। यह फेज 200 सेकंड तक चलेगा। तत्पश्चात PS3 को पृथक कर दिया जाएगा।
Plus 7 minutes.
अब हम 420
Vehicle
सेकंड की दूरी
performance
पर आ
is
चुके हैं।
normal.
सापेक्ष गति 7.2 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड तथा ऊंचाई है 270 किलोमीटर।
Now, though the third stage has completed its action, it continues to coast along with the fourth stage and the spacecraft. It will do so for the next 200 seconds, during which time there is 129 kilometers gain in the altitude. The coast phase exists while the rocket is 1000 to 2370 kilometers downrange from the launch port.
Vehicle performance normal.
Port Blair and Brunei stations tracking presently.
Plus 8 minutes.
यान के सभी तंत्र सामान्य काम करते हुए अपने उद्दिष्ट दिशा को पूरी तरह अनुसरण करता हुआ PSLV-C53
Vehicle performance normal.
There is no thrust being developed presently, but the launch vehicle continues to be controlled.
जी हाँ, इस दौरान
Plus 9 minutes.
हमारे ग्राउंड स्टेशंस जैसे शार, पोर्ट ब्लेयर, ब्रूने बैक ग्राउंड स्टेशंस में से वर्तमान में ब्रूने तथा बेयाक ग्राउंड स्टेशन यान के आंकड़े हम तक पहुंचा रहे हैं। अब कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे PS3 स्टेज का पृथकीकरण।
Third stage separated.
There is a confirmation from the Range Operations Director that the third stage has been separated, but
Vehicle performance normal.
the fourth stage and spacecraft are following their intended trajectory very closely. PS4 is yet to be ignited.
रेंज ऑपरेशन डायरेक्टर अपनी नज़र इसमें बनाए रखते हैं और उन्होंने घोषणा की है PS3 को पृथक कर दिया गया है तथा यान अपने सुनिश्चित पथ पर बढ़ता हुआ। अब यह PS4 कोस्टिंग फेज में है। यह फेज करीब 304.6 सेकंड्स तक चलेगा। उसके पश्चात PS4 इंजन को इग्नाइट किया जाएगा।
Plus 11 minutes.
PSLV का चतुर्थ चरण PS4 व अंतिम चरण है, जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है। इसका प्रज्वलन काल 132.6 सेकंड का होगा और यह कुल 14.66 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणुद उत्पन्न कर उपग्रह को उनकी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में स्थापित करेगा। इन उपग्रहों में सर्वप्रथम DSEO उपग्रह को अंतक्षेपित किया जाएगा।
Vehicle performance
उसके
normal.
पश्चात क्रमशः DLA, न्यूसार तथा स्कूप 1 को अंतक्षेपित किया जाएगा।
For this mission, the PS4 will function as
Plus 12
PSLV orbital experimental module, or the POEM activity, which performs in-orbit scientific experiments using the spent PS4 stage as an orbital platform. This is the first time that PS4 stage would orbit the Earth as a stabilized platform. Attitude stabilization is achieved using a dedicated navigation, guidance and control system. POEM derives the power from the solar panels mounted around the PS4
Vehicle
tank
performance normal.
and the lithium-ion battery. It navigates using 4 sun sensors, a magnetometer, gyro and NAVIC. POEM carries 6 payloads, including 2 from Indian space startups Messrs Digantara and Messrs Dhruva Space, enabled through InSpace and NSIL.
Plus 13 minutes.
अब हम प्रमोचन से 800 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। यान पूरी तरह सामान्य प्रदर्शन करता हुआ और अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ।
Vehicle performance normal.
PSLV को यूं ही भारत का विश्वसनीय यान नहीं कहा जाता। PSLV अब तक 54 उड़ानें कर चुका है। उसमें 3 विकासशील उड़ानें थी तथा 51 वाणिज्यिक मिशन रहे हैं। इनमें से कुल 53 उड़ानें पूर्णतः सफल रही हैं। इस तरह PSLV की विश्वसनीयता संख्या 97.3% है। और इस कारण से ही इसे इसरो का वर्कहॉर्स भी कहा जाता है। इसके 4 संरूपणों का उपयोग इसरो में किया जाता है। अलग अलग निदभार तथा कक्षा के अनुसार इनका चयन किया जाता है। वर्तमान में PSLV-C संरूपण में समायोजित यह यान करीब 523 kg के निदभारों को 570 किलोमीटर की दीर्घवृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित करने जा रहा है। अब कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे PS4 का प्रज्वलन।
Fourth stage engine started.
Plus 15 minutes.
Fourth stage performance normal.
The fourth stage has been ignited and it's developing intended thrust. It operates till the orbital parameters for the injection of satellites are achieved. We are 15 minutes 30 seconds from the launch. The altitude is 553 kilometers.
Fourth stage performance normal.
चतुर्थ चरण PSLV-C53 का सामान्य प्रदर्शन करता हुआ और अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ सर्वप्रथम DSEO की कक्षा प्राप्त की जाएगी, जो कि 570.5 किलोमीटर की है तथा इसे 7.07 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की सापेक्ष वेग से अंतःक्षेपित किया जाएगा।
Fourth stage performance normal.
Bayak and Brunei stations are still tracking. Speaking about the satellites taking right in this mission, the prime satellite DSEO is a 365 kg Singaporean satellite that carries an electro-optic multispectral payload with good imaging capability that will provide full
Plus
color
17
images
minutes.
for
Fourth
land
stage thrust
classification
cutoff.
and serving humanitarian assistance and disaster relief
Satellite
needs.
injection conditions are achieved.
Now the PS4 is realigning itself to the correct attitude for the satellite separation.
अंतःक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त की जा चुकी हैं। अब कुछ ही क्षणों में DSEO उपग्रह, नियोसार उपग्रह, स्क्रूप 1 उपग्रह जो कि सिंगापुर के हैं, उन्हें अंतःक्षेपित किया जाएगा। अभी आप ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर की मदद से यह कैमरा व्यू देख पा रहे हैं, जिसमें
DSEO satellite separated.
मुख्य उपग्रह DSEO को अंतःक्षेपित कर दिया गया है उनके उद्देश्य कक्षा में।
Indeed, a jubilant moment here in Mission Control Center as the prime satellite DSEO has been injected into its intended orbit. You've been watching the onboard camera visuals. Next is the dual launch adapter separation, following which 𝗬𝗧, Singapore's first small commercial satellite carrying a 𝗧 payload, will separate.
अभी कुछ ही क्षणों में हम साक्षी बनेंगे न्यूसार तथा स्कूप-1 उपग्रह के अंतःक्षेपण के।
न्यूसार satellite separated. Scoop-1 satellite separated. PSLV-C53 dseo mission accomplished. Handing over to mission director.
PSLV-C53 has successfully injected dseo primary satellite and 2 other satellites into the desired orbit. PSLV-C53 dseo mission is fully accomplished.
Having deployed the dseo 𝗬𝗧 in Scoop-1 satellites, the PSLV-C53 has accomplished its mission successfully. Hearty congratulations to the satellite customers, another feather in the cap of ISRO. And as we take leave from you, do continue to stay healthy and happy. Stay tuned for the address by Secretary DOS and Chairman ISRO.
जी हाँ, हर्ष का पल यहाँ सभी तीनों उपग्रह उनके उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में अंतःक्षेपित कर दिए गए हैं और इसके साथ ही PSLV-C53 dseo मिशन सफलतापूर्ण हासिल कर ली गई। इसके साथ ही हम आपसे आज्ञा लेते हैं। नमस्कार।
Good evening to all of you. PSLV-C53 has placed the customer satellites of NSIL, dseo, 𝗬𝗧 and Scoop-1 in the precise orbit of 570 km with a 10-degree inclination. So congratulations to NSIL for accomplishing this yet another major mission in this month, June itself. The first being the GSAT-24 launch. Currently the satellite is in orbit, drifting to its intended location. So with today's mission, all these 3 satellites are placed in the right orbit. And I hope that the further activities of the satellites will be taken up and the mission will be a complete success for our customers. And I wish all the very best to NSIL for major missions to take up in the coming days using PSLV. And PSLV is waiting for that to happen. Many more missions are on the way for the customers all across the globe to come and get successfully placed in orbit. So let me wish once again all the very best to PSLV team for this wonderful accomplishment, proving the high reliability and availability of PSLV for the global customers. I also want to tell that after the primary mission, the PSLV 4th stage is now going to write some poems in orbit. The PSLV orbital experimental module is going to be functional after this, taking over the control of the 4th stage from the primary mission computer to another computer which will take on from that. And the PSLV 4th stage will be a stage which is powered, generating power on board and stabilized with attitude control, and also having certain experiments hosted by some of the very young startups enabled by InSpace, the 𝗧 and 𝗧, they have hosted their payloads for experiments on board PSLV. And these experiments will continue, and we will get details about its functioning in the next orbit. Until then, let me thank you and wish all the very best to all of you for watching this launch of PSLV once again from Sriharikota. So let me wish all the very best once again and then invite the mission director, Sri Biju, for his comments.
Good evening to all. A special good evening to all my colleagues and friends in different control centers as well as ground stations spread geographically at different locations. A few seconds back, all of us have witnessed a wonderful launch of PSLV. PSLV-C53, which is PSLV in its 55th launch, that is PSLV-C53, has majestically taken off from the second launch pad and injected 3 satellites, 3 precious satellites in their desired orbits. PSLV was in a different configuration this time. It is the core alone configuration, and we are coming back to SLP with this variant of PSLV after a pretty long time. So we had to introduce certain changes, And also in vehicle systems, we had introduced some other changes to ease the, or to improve the productionization of PSLV so that we can keep meeting the growing demands of customers. And all those changes which we have implemented have yielded results. I profusely thank our New Space India Limited for having reposed their faith in ISRO and PSLV and for having selected us for taking this prestigious customers to their desired orbits. I also wish our satellite team a wonderful time in space, maybe even surpassing their design life. I wish you all the best, sir. With this, usually our mission would have been completed and probably my words here also would have ended. But as our beloved chairman has hinted here, we have set our eyes really high in this particular mission. C-53, even after injection of the satellites, is continuing its mission. It is a secondary mission as far as the PSLV is concerned, and the details have been given by our chairman ISRO. PSLV, as you know, it is a four-stage vehicle. After first stage, second stage, third stage, the functions are over. Those will be ejected, and PS4 will take the satellite into its desired orbit. Once the orbit is achieved, PS4 will eject the satellite into the orbit, and it will continue on its own. From this point, we thought we will take over PSLV. We will give some energy to PS4 and try to do some very cost-effective experiments which can satisfy the growing demands of startups, of our student community, as well as our scientific community, because the platform is available. Left to itself, it would have probably taken its own course, it would have tumbled, it would have wobbled, or it would have somersaulted, all those things. But given some energy, probably we will be able to continue the active PS4 for some more time so that the platform is available, all the resources are available, you keep some payloads, you keep some scientific payloads there, and definitely it can serve a secondary purpose also. That is where we have set our eyes this time. And definitely we are going to achieve it. We are targeting that. And this particular idea for this mission was conceptualized and implemented in almost a record time of something like 3 to 4 months, maybe in 3 months' time. And it is effectively, as I told, 2 missions rolled into 1 mission. Effectively, 2 missions rolled into 1 mission. So, huge effort has gone in from all centers. In fact, for this particular mission, all centers of ISRO have contributed, and the dedication and the extremely hard work put in by all members of Team ISRO is yielding results. I salute all of you for the wonderful contribution you have given. I also thank profusely our review forums, different review forums, as well as our administrative as well as auxiliary systems services for supporting us throughout the entire campaign as well as realization of this vehicle. I also thank my own project team being led by Sri Srikanth as well as Sri M. Jalal, Vehicle Director and Associate Vehicle Director, who always are on their toes to ensure that only high reliable systems are getting into the vehicle. I also thank all our industry partners spread over different areas of the country for delivering high quality systems for this vehicle. Before winding up, I would like to acknowledge the sincere contribution as well as the untiring support being given by all our family members, our parents, our siblings, our kids, our spouses, everyone, because without this, definitely a mission of this dimension will not be possible. I salute them also for facilitating us to keep on contributing to ISRO so that always the name ISRO or the flag of ISRO, which is the pride of our country, flies higher and higher. I once again thank each and every one of you, particularly our seniors, our mentors, as well as members of very senior professors of our erstwhile MRR forum who continues to guide us, even personally calling us and giving very precious pieces of advice as well as guidance just to ensure that PSLV success saga continues. I once again thank each and every one of you for this wonderful mission that we have witnessed now. Thank you, good night.
I invite Sri Radhakrishnan, CMD NSIL, for his comments.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. NSILS, first of all, let me extend a very hearty congratulations to Team ISRO for supporting New Space India Limited in undertaking such a precious mission for our Singapore customer. In fact, NSIL is really excited to see the successful launch of PSLV-C53 with all the 3 Singapore satellites that were on board. As you are all seen, a beautiful deployment of all the 3 satellites. Primarily, if you look at this particular mission, DSCO was the primary in this particular mission with 365 kg of mass meant for Earth observation. And another innovative thing that has been carried out in this particular mission from the customer perspective was the launch of 𝗬𝗧, which is a microsatellite with synthetic aperture radar kind of capability, again for the Earth observation purposes. The 3rd satellite was 𝗂𝗽𝗱, which was a technology demonstrator. And I think as we witnessed this beautiful launch, I don't think the customer would have asked anything more than the kind of precision with which the orbit was deployed, the 570 km with 10 degree inclination. It was really a very